PWCC is a great way to sell your sports cards. If you're looking for a way to support the Cajun Cardboard YouTube channel, consider using the promo code CAJUN, all caps, C-A-J-U-N, when you're selling your cards on the PWCC marketplace. Hey guys, Brian with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana, and I am popping my head out like a hedgehog, no, like a groundhog, during my 30-day hibernation just to make sure I don't forget how to do this. I want to make sure I remember how to click record, speak to the camera, do the editing, put a video together, and then publish it. And I felt terrible leaving you guys hanging, not knowing what's going on in the Michael Jordan market over the last 2 weeks. So what I've done is, and what we're going to look at real quick, is just 5 cards, okay? I'm not pulling the top 5 sales, but I'm in Card Ladder, I'm in sales history. I am sorting from April 22nd, which I think is when I disappeared off the map and off the grid, and then I'm searching through yesterday, May 4th, and I am going to give you, I'm going to sort by price. Regardless of grade, no BGS, no PSA, no PSA 10, no Gem, no this, no that. Just Michael Jordan. And we're going to look at some of the highest selling cards. The highest selling card is a familiar face of $30,000. But since April 22nd, $30,000 was the highest selling Michael Jordan card. Of course, we know there are some absolute bangers coming up in the very near future. I think it's in the Golden 100 and maybe the Golden April Elite. Maybe it's the Premier. I can't remember. But there is a humongous Logo Man 1-of-1 auto Michael Jordan card, if I am not mistaken. And again, it's not on my radar. I have no dog in this hunt, but I think that's coming up. But we're going to focus on some of these cards that mere mortals can acquire and have acquired over the last, whatever that is, close to 2 weeks. So let me switch you over to Card Ladder. I am not going to just go in order top to bottom because this would be extremely boring, because as you can see, card number 1 is the Star 101. The second card is pretty cool, exquisite card, and again, I do have 5 of these pulled up on Card Ladder. We're going to look at the history, we're going to look at the pricing history, some of the comps and some of the different stuff like that. Hoodie's Collectibles sold a card that had a PWCC Eye Appeal sticker, and they yanked it off and sold it on eBay, but I guess they keep the sticker. I'm not even sure how that works. I should probably know that as an affiliate partner with PWCC. But Hoodie's Collectible, of course, one of the bigger consigners out there, sold this Jordan PSA 9 on eBay, which had really good eye appeal. PWCC gave it a top 15% sticker for 25 grand. That seems to be a gigantic number for a PSA 9. In fact, the last time I looked, I don't know, I've not been away that long. I haven't looked at the PSA 9s like every day over the last 2 weeks, but damn, I thought they were like 18 to 19,000. This one hits 25. Another PSA 9 hits 22. Another one hits 20. Maybe we do need to look that card up. Maybe those cards are running. The first card I want to talk about, however, is this card right here. It's the 1984 Star 288. There's 3 cards. Somebody from the Star camp, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's 3 cards, the 101, the 288, and the 195 from 1984. Actually, there's one more. I think it's a Court Kings, if I'm not mistaken. It's a 5x7. But as far as regular size cards, there's 3, I think, right? The 288, 195, and the 101. And we're going to look at 2 of them today. The 288 is this Rookie of the Year card. It's Jordan being guarded by Michael Ray Richardson. No, that's not Pooh Richardson. That is Michael Ray Richardson. I think that's his name, Michael Ray Richardson. I'm old, but I was, 9 years old and or 10 years old in 1984. This card went for 20 grand. Now, so we're going to pull this card up and do a little digging. And this card's had an interesting little journey here. One of these bad boys sold for 38, and I never could figure that out because this, as you guys know, I've talked about this on the channel. I am trying to collect all 25, I think it's 25, Michael Jordan Star cards, the legitimate ones, right? Now, I'm not talking about these, these fake ones over here that, can y'all see this? Here, let me get you back over here. Can y'all see these? I'm not talking about these fake Star cards, which I've got, a couple bags of. No, I didn't print these fake Star cards. I just wanted to kind of show you guys what they look like. I'm not talking about these fake Star cards. I'm talking about legitimate, authorized, licensed, oh God, I think I screwed the camera up, licensed Star cards. So yeah, I think I did screw the, let me see if I can, does that fix it? Hang on, I'm looking at my other screen. See if this, how does this work? Maybe it's just going to be blurry for the rest of it. I don't know how this shit works, guys. I told you this. I'm just a dumb Cajun from Louisiana. Oh, wait. It's back now. Anyway, this card number 288, 8.5, sold for $20,000. We're looking at these sales. It hit a crescendo, the highest price ever paid. Sorry, phone's going off. For $38,400. I'm out of practice, guys. I'm rusty here. $19,800, $19,500, and then most recently, $20,000 is the one that we saw sell just a couple of days ago on May 1st. And that was on eBay. It was a fixed price purchase, so not an auction. Keep that in mind. The next card, we're going to keep flipping through here. Here's a card I should have looked up. This is the 1997 Upper Deck game jersey Jordan. It's sold for $19,550. That's a card that's not, you're not going to find that in the hierarchy because there's no autographs or memorabilia cards in there. But I feel that's a pretty damn important card. That's a pretty damn important Jordan card to have in your collection if you're a serious Jordan collector. Again, you could throw grade out the window. It's just a monster card, but just shy of 20 grand for that card, $19,550. That one sold on eBay at an auction. It's a pop 11 in that grade. And here is the other star card that I was talking about. This is the 1984 star number 195. So we're going to look at the 288. We're going to look at the 195. They sold for a pretty similar prices, $19,200 for this one. Again, the 288 is a pop 40 in BGS 8.5. The 195 is a pop 29, so a little bit rarer actually, but an interesting graph here, right? It looks like a little camel hump right there. This one, like the 288, we see this massive crescendo in November of 2023. Well, again, fall of 2023, this number 195 gold medalist card jumped all the way up to $29,000, so a similar crazy all-time high spike there for the 8.5, and then it came all the way back to 13,000, and now it jumps all the way back to 19,000. So again, we're just looking at green dots on a line here. If you really want to dig deeper into here, you can kind of look at the subs, maybe look at the card. Remember, not all 8.5s are the same. Not all anything are the same. People always like to say not all PSA 10s are the same. Well, no shit. Not all of anything are the same. I mean, I see horrible 8.5s. I see 8.5s that look like 11s. So there's going to be some undulation in the hobby when you're looking at cards like this. Oops, I didn't mean to click that. But that's card number 2 that we're looking at there. So the 2-star cards in 8.5 overall up 10% over the last 2 years. The other one up 75% over the last 2 years because this one was pretty steadily $11, $6,000. I would have loved to have jumped on that card for $6,000 a little bit less than 2 years ago. Now the damn thing, or 18 months ago, now the damn thing's all the way up to 20, and of course I'm the dumbass who's trying to collect the cards. I am missing 5 cards. I'm missing the 3 cards from 1984. Yeah, what a coincidence. The 3 that are the most expensive cost like 70 grand. They are so expensive that it's made me second guess whether I even want to go after them or not. But these are 2 of the cards that I'm missing, and of course they're at 20 grand. So here I am pumping them or talking about them. I'm sure that's not going to help. Let's keep scrolling down. So you're going to see tons of 86 Fleer, and that's why I'm not just going to talk about them in order because we'd be talking about 86 Fleer PSA 9, 86 Fleer PSA 9, 86 Fleer PSA 9, 84 Star 101, PSA 7, whatever. We're going to go through all that crap. I'm not doing all that. So the next card that really caught my eye, you see how many 86 Fleer are in here? Yes, there's a lot of them. Is the 97 Metal Universe Platinum Portrait PSA 9. PSA 9, not a PSA 10, PSA 9. So we're going to look at this card in detail. And this one, as you can see on your screen here, was sold by the great VTV Sports Cards. So shout out to Joseph Cantino, a good friend of mine, a great Jordan collector, loves PSA 10s. Joe loves PSA 10s, and he flashes them on Instagram regularly. If you're not following VTV Sports Cards on Instagram, you probably should be if you like looking at Jordan cards. So Joseph is a collector who likes to pick up cards that show up on the hierarchy, but there's a price for everything, right? And so if somebody comes along with an exorbitant offer, more than he paid for a particular Jordan card, then he will sell that card and then he will replace it later and, recycle the money, rinse and repeat, and keep doing that, which is an interesting way of collecting Jordan cards. And I don't blame him. So part investor, part collector. Love it. But that's what the card looks like. We are familiar with this from what I think is probably the most important set from the 90s, the 1997 Metal Universe set. This is the Platinum Portraits. It is a pop 24 in PSA 9. And look at this graph, right? This card jumped all the way up in 2021. What happened in 2021? Was there a crazy spike in the hobby? Gee, I don't know, maybe. This card sold for 25 grand, dipped all the way back 2 years later to 9 grand, and it looks like Joseph turned a nice little profit here for 11,500. And I did look, the 9 and the 11, that's not both Joseph, that is not both VTV. Those are totally different cards with different certification numbers. So that's a pretty good sale there. That is, in theory, not in theory, but in reality, that is the second highest price ever paid for a PSA 9 Platinum Portraits card. So that's always interesting. What I did want to show you guys is the interesting story of the PSA 10s. And so I've talked about this on the channel before. This is the PSA 10 Platinum Portrait, and you'll see this graph is very unique because it never comes back down. It never resets, and there was a sale for $58,000 in bubble year 2021, but then it looks like there's been one sale since then, but honestly guys, there's been 2 sales, and let me show you why I remember, because I was doing the PWCC premiere, and a card sold, this PSA 10 right here, sold on the PWCC premiere for $90,000 on that fateful night of August 24th, 2023. And a friend of mine and a great content creator in the hobby and a really astute Jordan collector had his listed at $75,000 on the PWCC fixed price marketplace. And that night, and the reason he had it listed at $75,000 is because he was like, well, hell, the card sold for $58,800 during the bubble year. If somebody pays me $75,000, that's an incredible return. And so my friend had it listed at $75,000 on fixed, thinking maybe he can negotiate, maybe he could get a deal done in the 60s and turn a profit. A card he probably didn't necessarily want to sell, but if somebody was going to offer a crazy number, go for it. Well, the same night in PWCC Premiere, one sold for $90. Some savvy Jordan buyer noticed that there was one on the fixed price marketplace, same card, same grade, crazy low pop of 17 for $7,500, and he bought my buddies for $75,000, and he bought my buddies for $75,000 the same night. So for that reason, you have $165,000 worth of PSA 10 Platinum Portrait sales on one night on PWCC on 2 different platforms within the PWCC marketplace. So I just thought that was an interesting story. But that, my friends, is why when you add up, even in South Louisiana, 90 and 175, you get 165,000. When you divide that by 2, like Card Ladder gets the average of 2 cards sell on the same night, you get an average of 82,500. So what about that graph right there for the PSA 10 Platinum Portraits? Wow, let's keep scrolling. Jordan Fleer, Jordan Fleer, Jordan Fleer, Jordan Fleer, Jordan Fleer, forever, forever, forever. Ah, the 1998 Planet Metal die cut PSA 10 sold for $7,500 on April 21st. Let's check it out. There's the card, right? Beautiful, beautiful card. The 97 Metal Universe from the aforementioned 97 Metal Universe set. That Planet Metal, not die cut, but that Planet Metal has a great design and gets a lot of the attention. This one's actually just as tough. It's a Pop 32 card. If you kind of look at it, how many have ever been graded? It's right at 500 or something like that and some change. There's only 70 gem copies between PSA and BGS, and this is a Pop 32, and that's what the graph looks like. Ironically, out of the 32, half of them have sold in the last 24 months. That's just too many. And when that happens, even with a rare card like this, you don't get sharks in the water because it just keeps popping up too often. In fact, if you look at it, even since 2023, hell, we're looking at, damn, this is just since 2023. The card sold 12 times. So basically 12 times in a year. That's like once a month for this very, very rare, very important, very tough, badass card, the Planet Metal Die Cut 98. Anyway, that being said, it's still up 23% over the last 2 years. So this is a $6,000 card back in May of 2022. Even though it has kind of come back, so it kind of crescendoed here at about 10,000, came all the way back down to the low 6s. Came all the way back up to 7,800. Last night it settled, or April 21st it settled for 7,500. So nothing crazy there. I just wanted to show you a really cool card. And then the last card we're going to talk about is right here. It's a card that sold on eBay. This is the Dunkin Go Nuts, but we're going to look at the BGS 10 copy. By the way, right below it, a Sports Illustrated for Kids, SI for Kids 95 Jordan PSA 10 Pop 1 sold for $6,642. Yeah, you heard me right. A card that you tear out of a little kid's magazine and just hope for the best grade you could possibly get, sold for $6,642. $642. But we're going to look at this Dunkin Go Nuts BGS 10. And this is one of the very rare situations where, again, here's the card we're talking about. It's a glorious card. It's a beautiful card. A lot of people are familiar with it. It's got a catchy name. It's an important, Jordan insert from the 90s. I think it's a tier 2 card, maybe a tier 3 on the hierarchy. I've been away from it too long. I should study my own hierarchy. It's either a 2 or a 3. I think it's a 2 probably because of demand, but it might be a 3 because the value is not crazy. A BGS 10 is not even going to cost you 5 figures, which is not a lot in the Jordan world, right? But anyway, this is a card that also has an interesting graph. It's not really that different from where it was 2 years ago. And it's weird because usually when you see BGS 10, you're like pop 1, pop 2, pop 4, maybe. This is a pop 29. If we look at the pop report, this is a card where PSA 10 actually takes a little bit of a backseat, not a big backseat, but a little bit. There's 2 black labels out there. How cool would that look? Those are about 20 grand each, 22 grand each. The BGS 10 is just shy of 10,000. The PSA 10 is just shy of 9,000. So not a huge disparity there. There are a lot more PSA 10s than there are BGS 10s. The BGS 10 may be considered and recognized by everybody, whether you're a PSA simp or a BGS fan, as the better card, but the number of people that like to collect Jordan cards in PSA slabs, that demand pushes the PSA 10 right up, just barely underneath the BGS 10 price for this Dunkin Go Nuts card. But you're looking at a card, there's about 500 of those that have been graded as well, pretty similar to the 98 Planet Metal die cut, just a shade over 500 of those have been graded. But here's something that's cool, because you're going to look at this and you're going to be like, well, that's weird. The BGS 10 looked like it was kind of starting to trickle up like a lot of Jordan insert cards from the 90s are. It hits 9,500, then it dips all the way down here. Look, that's just a month later to 7,000, and then it jumps all the way back to 9,700, which is the highest price paid in the last 2 years. That's odd. By the way, I should state that's the highest price paid in the last 2 years. So that's great news for the Dunkin Go Nuts BGS 10. But we got to dig a little further. So let's click View All Sales. We're going to pull them up. This 9760 last night sold on Golden. Here is the one that sold right before it for 7,000. So let's look at these cards and figure out maybe why one card would sell for 30% less than almost 30% less than the other card. Well, here's the Golden card. I hate this card. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I don't hate the card. I hate trying to make sense out of the sales of this card. Let's put it that way, because like the 93 Finest, like the 94 Finest, like some of the other cards where, like a Class Axe maybe, or some of the Atomics, some of the Topps Chrome, 96 Topps Chrome, etc. I struggle to tell if a card is yellowed or greened or clear. I don't know if I just can't see down here. I don't know if the allergies in South Louisiana have rendered my eyesight inferior to others. But this card looks yellow to me, okay? I don't know. I know the rule is here, if you want to see if the card's clear or not, put a white sheet of paper behind it when you take your picture. Well, Golden either took some orange construction paper and put it, or some brown construction paper and put it behind it, or the card's yellowed. And so the other thing is, some of these cards yellow after they've been in the slab. So this could have been a perfect clarity, beautiful, translucent BGS 10 Dunkin Go Nuts, and then it turned yellow, orange, mauve, whatever you want to call this color, after the fact. But that's the Golden card right there, 9760. But this one, to me, really looks almost like an orange parallel, or a urine yellow parallel. This is the one that sold for 7,000. It did sell on eBay, a relatively reputable seller. It looks like they have 17,000 on there. Again, I haven't vetted them, but it looks like 17,000, 99.4%. Not a great percentage on eBay, but certainly doable. It looks like maybe there's some issues up here on the net. Am I crazy, or is that normal? It looks like there may be some surface issues on that net. Did that happen post slabbing, or is that normal? Let's see what's up with that. No, I guess that's normal. Man, it just kind of looks like it, doesn't it? I haven't really paid too much close attention to that card. But anyway, this one is definitely an orange to me, and I think that had something to do with the $7,000 sale. So, interesting graph here. I just wanted to show you guys Dunkin Go Nuts. That's just 5 cards, guys. I just wanted to kind of make sure I didn't forget how to do this. Some other cards, if we keep on scrolling down the list, what else is out here? An autograph card, a bunch of 86 Fleer cards, tons of 86 Fleer cards. Good Lord. Here's a really cool one, an Essential Credentials in a, excuse me, I don't even know what that is, USA Sports Cards slab. Thank you for whoever slabbed it in that thing. We got a Rave Reviews PSA 9 that sold in the PWCC Weekly.
That's a beautiful card. You guys know all about that card. And an interesting story, this card was intended to be die cut. These areas where my cursor is, where you see right here, this black area, that black area, and then over here, and then over here, those were supposed to be die cut, but they ended up just cutting it like a regular rectangle. And then an Intimidation Nation PSA 9, another big Jordan card right there. That card right there with big face Jordan sold for $5,900 in the PSA 9. So that's it. I just wanted to touch base with you guys, say hello. I have not been active, and my subscribers and views are going down in the toilet. But like I told you guys from the beginning, I ain't doing this for clicks, and I'm certainly not doing it for money. Again, hope you guys have been doing well. You should be still getting a pretty steady diet of videos on my channel, albeit all of them were recorded 30, 45, sometimes 60 days ago. And so I'm still getting the messages, hey, is the card you just showed in the cross-country collection still available? The answer is no. I don't have any cards here from the cross-country collection, except the raw cards that I decided not to grade, and I have tens of thousands of those cards, and I'm trying to figure out how to sell those cards. I would like to hand a box of 2000 Jordan raw cards to somebody and then hand me cash and then walk away and get out of here and go have fun selling it and making a profit. I have not really put too much effort into making that happen yet. I did have a deal fall through for that. So if you're interested in 2000 Jordan cards, first of all, be sure you're really interested. These are not big cards. Most of the cards are $1 to $8, okay? There are no Intimidation Nations in here that I just thought we're gonna grade a 7. There's nothing like that, right? There's no Scoring Kings PSA 8s in here. These are base cards. You might be able to grade them and get a 10 on them, but I just made the decision. I ain't trying to chase a $65 PSA 10 on a collector's choice 5th year subset card. So there's a lot of really good condition cards in here. There's a lot of cards that look like they would grade probably a 7 or an 8. And therefore, I decided not to grade the cards. So that's what I've got in this. If you're interested in 2000 raw Jordan cards, reach out to me on Instagram. Message me. I am checking my messages, even though I said I wouldn't. I am, because I hate leaving people completely in a lurch. So I didn't want people to think I was rude. So I'm checking my messages. I'm just not posting. I'm not active. I'm not doing any YouTube shorts. And I'm spending a lot of time with my kids. And I need to get my fat ass in shape, and that's what I said I was going to do, but I'm not doing that. But I am having fun, spending a lot of time in the house with the family, watching some NBA basketball games with my kids, going to tons of soccer games. I'm actually building a soccer field, a turf field in my backyard. If any of you have any leads on that, or any suggestions on that, or any experience in that aspect, let me know. I got an egregious quote from a national company that it's not going to work out. Let's just put it that way. The quote was about probably more than I paid for all of my 1980, all of my Star Jordan BGS 8.5s combined. So it was a big number. So I'm going to pass on that and try to do a little more budget-friendly job and put a field together so I can train my son in the great sport of football, the real football, and spend some more time with him in the backyard, so I don't have to drive across town every time I want to get the kid trained up and improve his soccer ability. Anyway, that's what I've been doing. Thank you guys for watching. As always, keep collecting. Stay positive in the hobby. I'm going to come back probably full-time sometime mid to late May, so be on the lookout for that. I'd like to make a nice hard push. I do have a big project I'm working on. It's not finished, but the finish line is in sight. Let's put it that way. I think you guys are really going to like it. I need to start putting pen to paper and think about some of the practical aspects of how I'm going to make it work. But I think you guys are going to like it. It is a Jordan project. It is not another hierarchy, but it is something in depth and lasting that people will like for a long time going forward. So thank you guys as always for watching. Keep collecting. Stay positive in the hobby. Peace.